Welcome to this lesson. In this part, we are going to plan our website before we build it. It's really important to understand what we need to create, what sections does it have, what topics we need to focus, and how we have to divide our project, okay? So before we begin creating our website, it's important to do the planning. Now, in our case, in this example that we will practice together, we are going to create a portfolio website. Let's say, for example, I'm a designer and I want to create a portfolio website for myself, right? Now, I know that my website is about showing projects and my experiences, but let's say I don't have much idea of what sections I have to include inside my website. So we can come here and communicate with ChatGPT and get some ideas from ChatGPT. For example, we can come here and say, all right, so till now I wrote down that I want to create a portfolio website for myself, and then I explained what I do. I am a designer and I want to show my past projects on this website, okay? The next thing that we can say is the goal of having this website. Why am I creating this website? So here I mentioned that I want to share this website with new clients to convince them to sign contracts and give me new projects. So here is the goal. Now, based on the information that we provide, ChatGPT can suggest some ideas. So what we need right now is that what pages we must have on our website. And also I can, for example, explain more about what I do. Let's say I am interior designer and an architect, right? To make it more precise. And here we are going to ask questions from ChatGPT about the sections or subjects that we must have on our website, like homepage, contact us, about me, projects, and so on. We want to know what ChatGPT will offer or will suggest based on our specific case. All right, I mentioned that I want you to suggest a list of potential pages I should have on this website, and in a short sentence, explain why you think each page is helpful for my case. So let's see the answer of ChatGPT. All right, so ChatGPT suggested 11 pages that we can have on our website. Now let's look at them together. The first one is homepage, which is obvious, we must have it. Then we have about me. Use this page to showcase your personality, experiences, and a skill, right? Portfolio can showcase our the depth of our work, places that we have been working on, past projects, right? Demonstrate our abilities. The next one is services, where we can show the main services that we provide, right? And provide more information about each of them. Testimonials, positive reviews from past clients, case studies. This page can contain in-depth details about some of your most successful projects. Case studies offer a chance to describe the challenges you face, right? So these are really good ideas, okay? If I wanted to create this website on my own without the help of ChatGPT, probably I would only add homepage, about me, portfolio, and contact me, right? But as you can see, the ideas that ChatGPT provided are really helpful based on our work. Based on, for example, if I'm an architect, this is a good portfolio website. The next one is a blog where we can share our thoughts, okay, about design trends, about project updates, and this way, for example, new clients that see your website, they can go to the blog and see really how you think and what's your opinion about new stuff, right? Then we have contact me, a page that can people can contact you using phone number, email, and social media. It's really good. FAQs. This page is dedicated to answering common questions, which again is really helpful. The next one is press and awards. So if you have some awards in the work that you do, it's really good to have a page for it. And the last one is call to action. And the explanation is that while this isn't necessary a separate page, there should be a clear actionable prompts on each page. So this is not a page, okay, but it is saying that on each page we must have a clear call to action so people can understand what they have to do next when they visit that page, right? So these are the pages that we can use and plan for our website. Now, let's say we want to create a homepage. We can ask ChatGPT what sections we must have in our homepage. So let's do that. All right, so I mentioned that I want to do the planning for homepage, and I want you to suggest a list of possible sections that can be helpful to have for my specific case, okay? So let's also mention, then I mentioned write a short description for each section and why you think it is a good idea to have it. So let's see what ChatGPT will write for us. Okay, so here are the sections that ChatGPT are introducing. All right, the first section that we have here is hero section. This is the first thing that visitors see when they land on your website. Include a captivating image of one of your best designs, a brief, strong statement about who you are and what you do, okay? And then it mentioned an example. So this is the hero section we can have on our website. Then we have an introduction, about me, a snippet, a brief introduction about yourself, okay, your philosophy towards interior design and so on. Services highlights, portfolio teasers, testimonials, carousels, okay. And it's not necessary to have all of them on your homepage, but you can select the ones that you think it's important to have, okay. And let's say at the top of all of these, we want to have our header, right? So let's come down and say, all right, I mentioned that at the top of all of these sections that you mentioned, we want to have a header that include a navigational menu. Based on the pages that you suggested, what do you think we should include inside the menu? So let's see what ChatGPT has to say about the menu. Okay, we have home, about me, services, portfolio, case studies. I think it's going for all of them. Yeah, more or less it's going for all of them. But we can make it, maybe if you don't want to have all, or if you don't have all, for example, if you don't have awards, or if you don't want to have blog, or case studies, you can remove some of them. But here's a suggestion of ChatGPT. Anyway, this is how we have to do the planning, right? Right now, we know that what pages we want to include in our website, and for example, for homepage, what sections we should have in our website. And even if you don't want to write the codes of the website using ChatGPT and create your website this way by writing the codes or by copying and pasting the codes, and you can still use this system of planning with ChatGPT, and then after that use another services like WordPress, like Squarespace or Wix, right? But anyway, it's really a good practice to explain what you want to do with this website and come up with a great plan before you begin, right? So that was all for this lesson. If you have any question, write it down for me. And if not, I will see you on the next lesson. Welcome to the next lesson. In this part, we are going to do the planning for colors because colors or the style or the fonts matter a lot. Now we can come here inside the previous chat that we had with ChatGPT about the planning for our website, the content that we must use. We can now talk about the style, okay? All right, I mentioned that for this specific website, what kind of design you think it will be good, what color codes we should use, and what fonts you think it's a good fit. Now, you can also mention your taste. For example, you can say that, right, for example, I mentioned that mostly I use modern look designs for anything. It doesn't matter. Let's say I'm an interior designer and I create stuff with modern look. And for this website, I prefer to have a dark theme. Now, the main task. Okay, we mentioned the main task before, but now we can make it more clear. I want you to suggest, okay, I want you to suggest color codes and fonts for this website. So let's see the response of ChatGPT. All right, so here are the colors that ChatGPT mentioned, and at the end you can see the code. Now, there is a website called Colors or Coolers, okay? And I will put the link of this website inside the resources of this lesson. It's really helpful. And you can come here, you can click on Start the Generator, right? And every time you press space on your keyboard, it will generate some random colors that usually are a good fit together, okay? If not, you can come here to Tools and go to Explore Palettes. And here there are some suggestions, some palette suggestions that you can use for your work or for your website, okay? Now, let's close this and let's come here and see the colors that ChatGPT provided. So GPT mentioned that for background, the primary background color, it should be dark gray, and this is the color code. And we can come here and inside this part, write the color code and see it. You can lock it so you don't change it by mistake. And then we have a secondary background color, which is light gray. Let's see this color as well. Okay, it's lighter. Then we have primary text color, which is this one. So for main, for example, for titles, for important text, we can use this color code. And then we also have a secondary text color, which is medium gray. For some texts that are not very important, we can use this color code. And accent color, bold color. Okay, so this is the color for, let's see, yeah, for example, main buttons, main call to actions, we can use this color. Okay, so in general, this is how our color palette looks like. Okay, so we have the primary background color, the secondary background color, the main color of our website. And if you don't like it, you can, for example, come here and mention that I want you to change this color for me and suggest, for example, 5 other options. Let's do that. I don't like the accent color, bold color that you suggested. I want you to suggest 5 other options. Okay, let's come here and see what ChatGPT will offer. This is the first option. Let's look at it. I don't like it as well. Let's go for the next one. Vibrant yellow. This can be also good. It depends on your work. It depends on your style, which one to choose. Okay, not this one. I think this one is mine, the next one. Let's look at green. And finally, we have rich purple. Yeah, maybe this is my color. Okay, this is a fit with my characteristics. So again, if you don't like the color suggested here, you can provide more information and let ChatGPT offer more options to you. And also here are the main fonts that ChatGPT provided. For primary fonts, we use Roboto, okay? And then we use Open Sans for secondary font and Railway for accent fonts. Okay, this could be used for any call outs or important headings. Okay, so it also mentioned where you have to use it, but don't worry, because we will not do the codings and ChatGPT will do it. It's itself will know about all of these designs, but one of the things that you must do, you should mention which one you have selected. Okay, I mentioned that I think rich purple is the best choice, and later for the design, I want you to use this color code from my website. So ChatGPT knows about our decision. It provides some more information about the color codes and the combination with other colors. It's okay. You can check out the other colors mentioned, but anyway, it is just an additional information. All right, so that was all about this lesson. I will see you on the next part. Welcome to this lesson. In this part, we will talk more about the programming languages we want to use for our website. Now, there are many different programming languages that you can use for different purposes, but to create a website, we have to use these three languages, and those are HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Now, you can use other languages for different part of the website, but to have a basic website, we should use these languages. Now, if you have no knowledge of HTML, CSS, or JavaScript, that's okay, but you can come here and you can ask ChatGPT to write a very short description, 1-2 sentence description about each of them. So let's do that. All right, so I mentioned that I want you to write a short description for each of the programming languages below, and I want you to also mention what is the main use of these programming languages when we're creating a website. So let's see the response. All right, so let's look at the answer. HTML is the backbone of any website, okay? HTML is used to create basic structure of a web page, including headings, paragraphs, lists, links, images, and other elements. So each of the elements on a website that you see is made by HTML. As you can see in this website, in this ChatGPT website that we are in, we have a text here, we have a bold text. All of these was made with HTML. Then we have CSS, okay? CSS is used to control the layout and appearance of the structure of elements in a web page. CSS allows web developers to style HTML elements on the web page. For example, here we have these tags. If you want to change the color of this part to, for example, white or red or green, you have to do it using CSS. And then we have JavaScript. JavaScript is a scripting language that makes website interactive, while HTML and CSS deal with the structure and presentation of website. JavaScript handles the site's functionality. For example, when we click on, for example, on a menu and something appear, okay, for example, when I come here and click on this button and it goes down, it is scrolled to the bottom of the page, this is JavaScript, okay? So these functionalities, or when I come here, click on this search bar, click on this messaging bar, you see this element appear here and it blinks. This is JavaScript. Now with JavaScript, we can create these kind of stuff, but a very simple website that looks good can only use HTML and CSS. These two languages are enough, but if you want to make it better, you can use JavaScript as well. And for the website that we want to create together, we will use these three languages. So that was all about this lesson. I just wanted you to have some basic information about the programming languages that we are going to use. And even if you don't have any coding knowledge, now you have some basic information about what each of these languages for. Okay, so that was all about this lesson. From next lesson, we will begin creating our website. See you on the next lesson. All right, so till now we have planned our website, We prepared the basics of design. We know what colors we want to use. And you can also save this for yourself or download this as a PDF or as an image, or keep this URL for yourself so you don't lose your colors. So right now we need to start creating our website. And the best way to do so, because creating a website can have a lot of different sections, a lot of different parts that we need to work on, it's better to use task split, meaning that because this task is so huge, we need to split it for ChatGPT so ChatGPT can focus on a specific task and do that job, do that part the best way it can. Then we go for the next part. So let's scroll up, and here we define different pages: homepage, about me, and etc. So right now we will focus on homepage, and inside the homepage we had different sections. We had hero section, we had introduction or about me snippet, services highlight, and etc. And after that we mentioned that, all right, we want to have a header which includes a navigational menu, and inside that menu we will have these pages. Okay, so right now we can begin with the header part. Okay, and we can come here and write down all right, so till now I wrote down that I want you to write the codes for homepage, but I don't want you to write all the codes at once. Let's complete it step by step to avoid mistakes. So right now I want you to focus on the header of the homepage, which include a navigational menu with the items you mentioned above, meaning here we ask for the navigational menu items. We have home, about me, services, portfolio, case studies, testimonials, blogs, press and awards, contact, and FAQ, meaning we have 10 items. If you don't want a specific part, for example, let's say we don't want to have FAQs or press and award, you can come here and say exclude. It's better to put it inside quotation, FAQs, right? And let's just copy and paste it so ChatGPT can understand what we are referring to. We don't want these two items on our menu. Okay, so now ChatGPT knows what it needs to create, and now we can talk more about the style and the design of it. Okay, so let's provide some information about the design, the look that we want it to have. All right, so here I mentioned the style. Remember that we want this website to have a modern look. And then I said I prefer to have a smooth transitions, okay, soft shadows or backlights in the design, especially when we hover the mouse point on buttons or important clickable objects. Additionally, I wrote down try to keep the design clean and minimal. Okay, the next thing that I want to ask ChatGPT to do is the placement of elements. So I want to say that I want to have the website logo on the left side of the header and the menu items on the right side by side each other with enough space between them. Okay, so more or less we mentioned what we need, the style of it, the structure. Okay, and here we can mention the general task that ChatGPT has to do, write the codes of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript required for this page. So in general, you need to write the codes for HTML, CSS, and JavaScript if required inside parentheses for this page. Now we will submit this. If it had some problems, we can make some changes in the prompt, or we can follow up with some changes in the next prompt. So let's press enter and see the response of ChatGPT. Also, meanwhile that ChatGPT is writing the code, okay, here on my on the folder that I had AI course, I created another folder called 02-portfolio-website, and inside it is empty. And in a moment, we will add all of these codes that ChatGPT is writing for us. I think the codes are ready more or less. Let's have a look at what ChatGPT wrote. So here we have the HTML code that ChatGPT wrote for us. And don't worry if you don't understand it, it's fine. All we need to do is to copy and paste it. And let's come here. In the next step, we will add the CSS to style the header. For now, I will use the generic colors, but we will replace them with your chosen schema in the final step. So it wrote these items here for the design, and then it provided additional information. It's added another or additional style for the CSS. So let's copy and paste it and see what we are up to. Here inside the CSS code, you can see the color codes, right? We can take a look and see it's right. Some part of it, yeah, it's using the colors that we suggest. For example, this color code 6C2E9C is this one, right? So, all right, so let's jump into VS Code and create these pages. So let's come here. Let's open our folder, the folder that we created under AI course. This is the folder. Let's open it. And here we need to create our files. If ChatGPT didn't provide the names for your pages, for these files, you can ask ChatGPT that what I should name them, all right? But in our case, I'm gonna just, let's come here. I will explain what you should name them, right? So let's come here, create a file. For homepage, usually we use index.html, okay? If you ask ChatGPT, it will explain. So here is our HTML file, okay? So I'm gonna come here and copy the HTML code and paste it here. Now inside the HTML code, if I show you, let's come here and show it to you. So here at the top of the HTML file, we have a head tag, okay? And inside this head tag, we have the information about our website, about our web page, okay? And here there is a link, okay? It's written link. It's a style sheet, and it's referring to another file called styles.css, okay? Again, if you ask ChatGPT how to name the files for this website, it will tell you. But because I know how to write codes, I can explain it to you so we can speed up the process. So we need to create a file called styles.css, okay? So this is our CSS file. Let's save HTML as well. And let's come here, scroll down and copy the CSS file. So here we have body, header, logo, menu, and etc. And if we scroll down, we had another additional codes for CSS, okay? I think if we read this part, it will explain it for us. All right, here it is. In the final step, we will replace the generic colors with your chosen schema, okay? Let's proceed to that now. So here there are some designs that it replaced. It's not additional code. You see we have dot logo, dot menu, and dot menu. Again, here we have dot menu, li space a. Here we have li space a colon hover. So if you scroll up here, we have the same thing. Okay, we have menu here, menu li, right? We have these, and we need to replace it. Okay, so we have logo, let's replace them separately. Or if it is difficult for you, you can tell ChatGPT to write the CSS code required for this page with the final changes all over again. So you can just copy and paste it. So I'm going to copy and paste each of them separately. .logo. Let's come here and find .logo. Here it is. Okay. Let's scroll down. The next thing it changed, it is .menu space li space a. Okay. .menu space li space a. And let's come here. And the last one has colon hover, which is this one. So let's save it. And the way to see your code, you can just right click on index.html and copy path. Okay, that's all. Copy path and come here to your browser, any browser that you use, open a new page and paste the path. Okay, so here is our website. Okay, till now it created these pages. We have home, about me, services, portfolio, and as you can see, we don't have FAQs or awards. And here we have the logo. Now, the logo, let's come here. It's written a text, okay? We don't want to have a text. We want to have an image. And when I hover my mouse on each of these items, you see the text become purple, but it's not very readable, right? What if we make the background of the text purple, but the color of the text become white? I think in that case, it look much better, right? So let's do that. Let's tell ChatGPT to make these changes. All right, in this part, I mentioned that it is good, but there are some changes that I want you to make. I want you to replace the logo part with an image called logo.png, okay? And later we'll add that logo. And the next thing is that okay, so I mentioned that when I hover the mouse on menu items, it's not readable, okay? So I want you to make it this way that when we hover our mouse on each item, turn the background, and then I mentioned that full height of the menu, okay? So I'm talking about full height of it, okay? Not just a box around it, okay? So the full height of the menu to reach purple color and the text to our primary text color, which is this color, okay? With no shadows or backlight. If you pay attention here, when I hover, there are some, let me zoom in so you can see it better. When I hover, you see there are some backlight, back purple light on it, okay? So I don't want that as well. Here we have it too. It's not nice. So, where were we? Okay, here we are. So that's all. And I can mention write the whole CSS code from beginning again. Okay, so I mentioned that write the whole CSS code from scratch. So we don't need to replace each part and make our work much difficult. Just come here and copy and paste the whole code. So let's press enter and wait for the answer. As I said, because building a website can be a little bit complex for ChatGPT if it want to create all parts of it at once. So it is better to do this step by step. And as you can see, it is doing HTML all over again as well. So in case, I don't know if ChatGPT made some changes or not. So because of that, I'm going to come here and copy the whole HTML code and replace it here, save it. Let's come here. This is the CSS and yeah, that's all. Let's copy CSS code, come here, select all and paste, save it. Let's come here. Let's make the size correct. Okay, so Okay, now it's a little bit better. If you don't like it, you can make some changes. Here we require an image, okay, an image to this logo. So if we come here to the index.html, here is the logo part, and we need to add a logo, a file called logo.png inside this folder. All right, so I'm gonna open Photoshop and create a sample image for the logo. And because it is because the background is dark, we require something light here, okay? So you need to pay attention to these details. All right, so here we are in Photoshop. I'm creating a new page with the pixels, and the width is 100 pixel and the height is 60 pixel, okay? And I'm gonna zoom in, and here, let's turn off the background, and let's write down a light text. All right, I made some changes here, but I just wrote down my logo, but you can replace it with whatever you want. This is just side note, and I will put this PNG file in the resources of this lesson. So if you don't have an image right now for the test, you can use this image. So let's save this. Come here, export as PNG. All right, so right now I'm in our folder, and I'm gonna write down logo.png. Save it, and if we come here in our files, here is our logo.png. Now, if I refresh this page, we should be able to see this logo. You see, here it is, my logo. It appeared here. So more or less, the header is ready. Okay, if you want to make some changes, it's okay. You can keep doing that. But I think what we have, it's right now it's working and it is fine. Okay, so that was all about the header, the navigational part. If you have any question, you can write it down for me. If not, I will see you on the next part where we are going to create the hero section. So that was all for this lesson. See you on the next part. Welcome to the next lesson. The next part is the hero section. So let's come here, and we can tell ChatGPT to create a hero section based on the topic of our website and use a call to action, for example, to, where is it? To services, right? So we will have a section here with a title and a call to action, and maybe on the right side, an image of one of our works, or vice versa. On the left side, we can have the image, and on the right side, we can have the title with call to action button. So let's come here and tell ChatGPT what it needs to be done. All right, so here I mentioned that let's go for the next section, which is called hero section. And I said I want you to write the codes for this part based on the topic and the style of our website. Write a good headline that either describe what I do, or write a headline that push the reader to click on the button under it. So then I describe the style, the structure of this part. I mentioned that this is just an idea, okay? Maybe on the left, we can have the headline and under it a short description, and then under it call to action button. Maybe we can link this button to the services page, right? And on the right side, maybe we can have an image of one of our projects. At the end, I mentioned that this is just an idea. If you have a better one, you can execute that one, okay? But if you don't want ChatGPT to innovate here, you can just stick to the idea that you have in your mind. So let's click and wait for ChatGPT to write the codes for the hero section. So it is just writing the codes for HTML. And if you pay attention, it's not writing the whole codes for HTML. You see, if we come here to our HTML file, it starts with doc type HTML, then we have HTML tag and some other stuff. And here it's different. Come here. It's a section of that code. Now, in case if you don't know where to add this code, because maybe you don't have any coding experience. Here, if it didn't explain, you can ask ChatGPT to explain it for you, where I should add this code. Or in your prompt, you can write down, also mention where I must add the code, okay? Or you can write the whole code from scratch. So you can just copy and paste it. But I will tell you that you can just come here, click on copy code. And because this is under the header section, if we come, this is the header, okay? We have to add it after header, okay? So we have header here, then we have this hero section with some information here. And let's save this. Then we have the CSS code, okay? Wrote the CSS code. Let's come here and copy all of it. And let's jump in the styles.css file and paste it after the code that we had. So let's come here, refresh the page. And here it is. This is the hero part. So we have transforming space, crafting memories, okay? And we have a short description under it. We have a call to action button. And here we require an image. So one of the good things is that if you don't have an image, you can jump into Discord and open Midjourney, as we learned before, and just create an image and put it here. So let me come to our practice channel. And here I'm going to create a new channel, and I'm going to name it website. And let's come here. And since we are an architect, we are building this website for an architect, I'm going to mention. All right, here I wrote down, let me zoom in so you can see everything better. Interior of a modern house, and I added minimal. Okay, let's wait for the image to get ready. And I'm on version 5.1 with raw style. And let's wait until the image is prepared. Oh, one thing I forgot, the size of it, it's not good. So I'm gonna create another prompt. Oh, imagine. And let's add --AR. Let's do it 16:9, okay? Because with this size, here it's much better, okay? We have our space, it fits better like this. And one thing is that everything is too close to each other, okay? So maybe we can use a gradient for background, and we can add some space here. So until the images are getting ready, let's tell ChatGPT to make these changes. Okay, so here I mentioned that what you made, it's good, but add some free space at the bottom and at the top of this section, and then change the background color to something dark toward tones of like dark blue, like a gradient maybe, okay? So let's add this, and let's go to Discord. Okay, these are really good. For example, maybe we can use this one, or let's use this one. I think it's a good fit. So number 4, let's upscale it, and let's open it, save the image. And if we come here inside the codes of our HTML file, here, this is the image. It's the name of it. It's project.jpg. Okay, so let's come here and let's write down project. It is .png, and it's okay. It doesn't matter. We will change that. So let's go to our files, and let's bring this image here. This is PNG. That's okay. I'm going to just select all of the name, and let's go to our HTML file and change the source. Now it was project.jpg. I changed the extension to .png. That's okay. It's very simple. If you don't know, for example, you can say that, all right, I added my image inside my folder and the name of it is project.png, but the website is not showing it, then ChatGPT will tell you to make these changes here, right? So the more you communicate with your ChatGPT, the better will be the result. So here is the CSS that it changed. Okay, so let's come here, copy the CSS. From the hero part, we need to make the changes. So let's scroll up to the hero part and replace it. Save it. Let's come here. Let's refresh it. Right? It looks much better. For example, here, maybe it's better to have some space between the title and the description under it with the image. Okay, it's not really good. So we can come here and say it's much better. Let me see the image again. Okay, I think that is okay. Right. I wanted to tell ChatGPT to make the corners rounded, but I think it's fine. So I just mentioned that the changes you made, it's much better. Now I want you to add some distance between the image and the title and the description on the left. They are too close to each other. So it is writing the whole CSS code again from the new part. So let's come here. Let's select all of it. Get to the hero part and paste it. Save. Come here, refresh. Okay, we add more distance here. It looks nice, right? And if you don't like the main color, you can tell ChatGPT to change it, okay, to maybe use some other color. But I think it's looking really nice. Let's go to ChatGPT and let's scroll up to the sections that we had. Okay, let's come down. Okay, the next part is the introduction and about me snippet. Okay, and on the next lesson we will build this part. Okay, so that was all about this lesson. If you have any question, write it down for me. And after each lesson, the codes that we have, I will put it as an article. So in case if you want to use the codes that we see inside this lesson, you can take and copy and paste the code from the next article after each lecture. Okay, that was all about this lesson. If you have any question, write it down for me. Also, you can download the images that we use from the resources of each lesson. So see you on the next part. Welcome to the next lesson. Till now, we have created the header of our website and the hero section. And in this part, we need to create the next section, which is about us. So I'm going to come here in the ChatGPT and write down all right, so I mentioned that what you made till now, it's good. Okay, let's go for the next section, which is introduction or about me snippet. Write the codes for this part the way you think is best. Let's say you have absolutely no idea how the next part should be. Okay, so we will let ChatGPT decide that. We will try it. If it doesn't like it, we'll make some changes in the prompt until we like the result. Okay, so here is the HTML part. And if you look at the code inside it, let me just copy and paste it before I explain what the code is about. And then from what we see here, I will explain it. So let's come here. We got the HTML code. Let's paste it here, save it, go to style. And here we have the about me section. Let's copy all the codes and come here and paste it. Save this part. Let's come to our website, refresh it, and here it is. So we need a picture of ourselves. Then under it is written your name, okay? And then the title, for example, or what we do, interior designer and architect, and with over X years of experience, etc., etc., and then read more. Now, maybe you say, all right, I don't like the style of it like this, or maybe it would be better if it was, for example, starting from left side instead of center. So we can make all those changes. And you see here we have your name, here we have with over X years experience. So we need to make some changes here inside the code. if we come to the HTML part, this is a section that we just added. And if you just look for the same words, if I come here, select your name, copy it, okay, and then I come here, and inside the code, press Command and F on Mac or Control F on Windows, and paste the text that you found on your website. It will show you where it is. Here it is. So if I change this, the result there will be changed. For example, if I change this to Puya Eti and save it and come here and refresh it, instead of your name, we will see Puya Eti, right? So this is how we can make some changes if you don't know where in the code exists. And here we need a profile image, okay? You can create if you can upload an image from yourself, but since here we are using Midjourney to create the images, and this is a sample website, I'm just gonna come here and write down Imagine. Okay, I wrote down avatar image of a man with white background and minimal, okay? So let's wait for the image to get ready. All right, the image is already because I used the minimal word. It's look like logos. So let's try that prompt again. Okay, this time I just wrote down avatar image of a young architect with a solid background. So let's wait. All right, the image is already, I tried different prompt as well. So this was the first try. Then I wrote down avatar image of a young architect with solid background. Here are the result. And for example, this one is not so bad, okay? And then I wrote down image of a young stylish architect. And I think this one looks really cool, right? So let's upscale it, second one. And then come here and save it. And let's look at the name that we must use here inside the code. It is profile dot, let's do PNG because the image will be PNG. So it will be profile dot PNG. Saved it, and let's bring it to our file here and come here and refresh, and here it is. Okay, so looks cool. Maybe if we zoomed in on the face, it would be much better. So let's do that as well, because I want you to have a better looking website. So let's just drag and drop it inside Photoshop or whatever tool you use to just resize it. And let's just cover the head part. Okay, looks nice. I'm gonna just save this or export it as PNG as profile2.png. You can download both of these images from the resources of this lesson. All I need to do is to come here and add number 2 and save it and refresh it. So here it is, looks much better, right? And right, that was the part for the About Me. And when we click on Read More, it should jump into About Me page, okay? So that was all about this lesson. Let's go for the next part. Welcome to the next lesson. Before we go for the next section, I want you to know about this website, Dribble, okay? So on this website, there are a lot of different designs that you can get inspiration and some ideas for your own, okay? For example, we can come here to the web design, look at the designs that they have, and if you like some design, you can explain it to ChatGPT, and ChatGPT can create it for you, okay? So, for example, we can come here. Let's say later on the upcoming lectures, we will talk more about creating the About Me page, okay? You can come here and write down About Me and look at this designs that they have here. And if, for example, you like one of them, you can explain to ChatGPT that, for example, put the image like this here, then under it put the text, on the right side put some other thing, okay? You can do this as well. All right, so I will put the link to this website, Dribble, in the resources of this lesson, okay? So that was all about this lesson. Let's go for the next part to create the next section. All right, so I mentioned thank you, it looks good till now. Okay, so ChatGPT understand that we have accepted what it wrote till now. Let's scroll up and see what was the next section that we need to create for our homepage. So let's come here. It should be somewhere around. Okay, here it is. We had, all right, let's come here. It should be, all right, services highlight. Okay, this is the next section that we need to create. So let's come here, copy it, scroll down. All right, so I mentioned that let's write the codes for the next section, which is services highlight. Remember to keep the same style we have for our website. You can have some innovation in using the colors. And I want you to write some dummy content for at least 3 services based on the topic of our website. So I want ChatGPT to write the content, the text, the title, the description as well. So let's press enter and wait for ChatGPT to respond. Okay, the HTML part is ready. Let's copy it and let's come here to HTML under the previous section before the body tag. Okay, let's paste it, save it, and come to style, copy the style part, paste it here as well. Oh, I think it didn't finish, right? Okay, we need to continue generating. Okay, it's finished. Let's copy the rest of the CSS code and paste it here, save it. Let's go to our website and refresh it. Okay, looks nice. And I like the backlight as well, but we may need some divider here, or maybe change the color to darker or something else, right? It doesn't look so well the way it is. And also, if along the way you don't like the colors or some of the styles that you have on the website, okay, you can tell ChatGPT to change. For example, we can tell ChatGPT to change this purple color to something else. Okay, I remember we had another color. Okay, let's come here. We had another color at the first place. Let's come to the design part. Okay, here is the main color. I think it was this one. Okay, let's come and see how was it. Maybe this is much better. Okay, let's come to our website. Because with this background, reading this purple, it's a little bit difficult. And you can, if you want to see how it is when you're building a website, you can just right click on any element that you want to make some changes. Select inspect, right? The Chrome developer tool will be opened. And here, as you can see, we have the color. Okay, you can select the color code and paste the other color code that you have. And we can look at it this way and see if it is working, right? This is just changing some of the codes, but on our computer, okay? It will not change. If you can go to any other website and do the same thing, for example, we can come here to Dribble. I can select this text here, go to inspect, and I can go around here and find the color if they have. Okay, let's come here. You can also select this arrow here and select any element that you want. I think this one should have some color. Okay, here's the color. And instead of this, I can come here and write down, for example, green. Okay, I changed it only for myself on my computer. It will not change the color for Dribble website. If I refresh it again, it will go back to what it was before. So this way, you can only try and see that, all right, if this color is working or not, okay? So maybe we can tell ChatGPT to use this color code. Right, so I mentioned that the structure looks cool, but you need to make some improvement. First, I want you to replace all rich purple colors we have in the CSS file with this color, okay, and rewrite the whole CSS file we have till now again. So all right, so the last part is CTA-button hover. Let's come here and it's correct. Okay, so let's come to the top and copy all of it. And also you can make sure that it wrote all of it. So here it starts with header. If we go up, here we have another thing. Here we have body and then we have header. Okay. And all right. Header image. Okay. There you are. Okay. This is a little bit different, okay, with what we have till now. But anyway, let's try it and see if it works, okay? If it's not working, okay, then I will show you another solution to fix this. Let's come here and let's refresh it. All right, so the style gone really bad because ChatGPT obviously didn't wrote all the codes. Okay, so let's come here and make some changes. So the reason that this problem happened, okay, and the reason that I wanted you to see this is because when the chat gets so long, okay, ChatGPT start to forget some of the things, okay, and it is really a good idea to remind ChatGPT what we had, okay. So here I mentioned that here is the CSS code I have right now, okay. Now this way I remind ChatGPT what we have right now, and I just copied the whole CSS file and come here and using Control V or Command V to paste it. Okay, so you can see it's very long, right? So this way I'm reminding ChatGPT what we had before. Now it should create a better code and more complete. You see, it includes all the parts that we had before. So as I said, it's really a good idea when the chat gets so long, especially when you're building something like this, which is complex. It is better that from time to time you remind ChatGPT what we had before. Okay, this way it makes less mistake. So this is what we have right now with the changes that ChatGPT made earlier. And now I will replace the code that ChatGPT write for us and see how it will be. Maybe refresh our website. Right, the CSS file is complete. Let's scroll up, copy the code, come here, select all, and replace it. Save, and let's come to our website and let's refresh it. Right, it looks cool, right? Okay, it looks much better here. Of course, we can still improve or work with the color, play with the colors a little bit to make it much better. But for now, I'm gonna let it be as it is. For here, we require 3 images, one for interior design, one for architecture, and one for consultation, okay? So we can just select the title, okay? And go to Midjourney. Write down imagine, interior design, okay? And we can add more explanation like modern. And the size, I think we can use a square size shape or we can use 16 to 9. So let's generate both of them and see which one we can use and look better. So I'm going to come here, imagine, same prompt, modern, and also -- AR16 colon 9. Okay, so let's do this. And the next one is architectural design. So if we remember the lessons we had for Midjourney, we can come here and write down imagine. Okay, inside the curly brackets, we can write down architecture design, comma, the next topic that we have, consultation services. Okay, and for example, we can come here and write down modern and then dash dash AR 16:9. Okay. So when we use curly brackets and inside it we separate elements with comma, it will consider it as several prompts based on the number of elements we have inside the curly brackets. So this is the first image, which is ready. The second one, which is with the full HD ratio, it's still under processing. Okay, it's ready. So let's see which one we should select. Think maybe for our website, this looks good. Okay, I like the bookshelves at the top of it. It looks much better, I think. Right, I'm gonna select number 4. Let's upscale it. And let's wait for the rest of the images to get ready. Okay, I come here inside our code to see what is the name of our image. So for the first one, it is interior design icon.png. So let's come here and make that changes. Let's save it. Okay, this is the second one. Maybe this one looks cool. Okay, it's based on your own taste. So I'm gonna upscale number 3. And here, maybe this one I'm gonna select because the text is less visible. The reason is because Midjourney is not really good with text. Okay, so when it writes some text, it usually doesn't so good or doesn't look so good, or it has some dictation issues. So I'm gonna upscale the first one, and we'll use that for the image. So let's come here in the codes. This one is architecture icon. Okay, save it. Down this one, save it. Consultation icon.png, save it, right? And let's come here, and I'm gonna copy and paste the images inside this folder. So if we refresh it, okay, we see the images and it says a square, and they're really small. Okay, so we can tell ChatGPT to make them full width. So let's come here. Okay, I mentioned that the images on the services part are very small, and I want them to be on 16:9 aspect ratio with almost full width. Okay, so if you look here, you see the aspect ratio is like a square. Okay, we can change that as well. All right, so here it added a CSS code for us, and it explained exactly what we have to do. It updated part of the code. So I think we must have this part inside our code. So I'm just going to copy it, come inside our CSS, press Command F or Control F, and search for this. So here it is. Okay, this is the code that it wrote for the image, and we can replace it with the new code that we have. Close the search, save it. In front of it, it also has the explanation. For example, here, the width is 90%, okay? So adjust the width according to your needs, okay? Here's the aspect ratio. It mentioned the aspect ratio, how it should be. So anyway, I saved it, and let's refresh it. It looks much better, but the space in the top of the image, it doesn't look so good, right? Let's see if we can find any. Okay, right. So the problem is here. We have a padding top, okay, about 56%, which this is wrong. Okay, I know this because I know how to write CSS code, but let's say we don't know. And Okay, so I mentioned that the code you wrote is fine, but it has one problem. We have a huge empty space at the top of the image. Okay, so let's say we don't know how to fix it. And we want to communicate with ChatGPT to find the problem. Okay, so it made some changes. Okay, let's copy this part and replace it. It shouldn't have padding top. Okay, and as you can see, it replaced it with height. Okay, this was the previous version, and now this is the new version, and it is auto. So let's save it. Let's come here, refresh it, and now it looks much better, right? So we can keep going. We can add more space here. We can say, right, it shouldn't be on the center. We'll start writing from the left side. Okay, you can play with this as much as you want, or you can add some space here. Maybe from the top, it's too close to the border. But anyway, I wanted you to learn the idea that we have, okay? How we can create a website, how we can create different sections of it. So you can keep going the same way and create the rest of the website, okay, with ChatGPT. All right, so that was all about this lesson. If you have any question, write it down for me. If not, I will see you on the next lesson. Welcome to the next lesson. Till now, we have created several sections of our homepage. We have created the header, the hero section, the about me section, and the services. Now I want to skip the several sections that we have after it and jump to the footer, okay? Because the rest of the sections will be very much similar to what we did till now. So let's go for the footer. Right, so I wrote down that it is good, okay? I'm referring to the previous task it did for us. And then I mentioned now I want you to write the codes for the footer. Use the colors and the style we have used till now for our website. And then use the elements you think is required for my specific case. Let's see what will be the response of ChatGPT. And if the response wasn't what we were looking after, we can make some changes in this prompt. If not, if it requires a small changes, then after it is done, we can tell ChatGPT to apply those changes. So here's the HTML code. I'm going to copy it. And let's go to our HTML index.html file. Under the previous section, add the footer, save it, go to style. And let's come down here. And yeah, it's complete. Copy the CSS code and let's paste it here and then save it. So let's come here to our website and let's refresh it. All right, it looks nice. Itself, it used the logo, okay, without us saying it. There are some links here like portfolio services, contact me, and for example, our email or our phone number, and then the rights reserved text, okay? It's nice, but if it was me, I would add more empty space at the top or at the bottom of it, okay? It requires more room to breathe, okay? It's so close to each other. So I'm gonna come here and say, I wrote down everything looks good. I only need you to add some empty space at the top of the footer. I feel it requires more space to breathe. All right, it made the changes, and if you pay attention here, it mentioned how it added the empty space by increasing the padding dash top property from 20 pixel to 50 pixel. Okay, we have created a larger space above the content in the footer. So here, somewhere inside this code, we have a padding top, which is equal to 50 pixel. So if I look at this text, okay, if I scroll up, somewhere here, we must have padding top. All right, here it is. It explained it here as well, increased from 20 to 50 pixel. So here it wrote padding, 50 pixel and 10%. Don't worry if you don't understand it, but in general, what changes ChatGPT make, if you read the text, you will get a better idea of what happened. And in case if you want to make small changes without the help of ChatGPT, if you just read the explanations, you can do that as well. So I'm going to copy the CSS code, come here, grab all of the CSS code it wrote for the footer, and replace it. Right, here it is. Let's save this, and let's come to our website, refresh, and now we have a little more space here, but it's not enough. So based on the explanation that ChatGPT provided here, that they changed this number from 20 to 50, okay, so they changed this number to have more free space. So if I come here and instead of 50, I do, for example, 150 pixel and save this. If I come here and refresh it, we will have more empty space here, right? So this way, even though that we don't have any experience in coding, by just reading the explanation, we can understand what happened, okay? So that was just an example for you to understand if you want to make more changes, how you have to do it. All right, so that was all about the footer. If you have any question, you can write it down for me. If not, let's go for the next lesson. In this lesson, we will talk more about the folder management. Now, if you pay attention to what we have right now, all the files that we have used is inside one folder, and it looks a little bit messy, right? Right now, we only have homepage. Okay, we didn't create the rest of the pages, and for this page only, we have all of these content. It's a little bit crowded, don't you think? We can go to ChatGPT and tell ChatGPT that we want to change folder management system and explain how we want it to be, and tell ChatGPT to make the changes that is required. So let's come here and let's explain what kind of folder management we want. I explained that I want you to help me with creating folders for the resources of my website. Right now it is so messy and everything is in one folder. Okay, so I explained the problem. And then I mentioned I want to have a folder for all HTML files, a folder for all CSS files, and a folder for all images. And then, for example, place all the images connected to homepage inside another folder, which is called home, inside images. Okay, so we want to arrange all of the documents or resources that we have for our website. I just suggested a way, okay, and then I told ChatGPT that first tell me or show me the folder structures. Okay, I wanted ChatGPT to have some room to make some changes if it thinks it is required. Okay, then I want you to rewrite the codes with new addresses. Okay, now it's a good idea to copy and paste the HTML code that we have right now. Okay, because maybe if ChatGPT want to rewrite the code, as I said, when the chat gets so long, right, it starts to forget things. Okay, so it is a good idea to share the codes that we have right now. Here is the HTML code that I have now. Okay, so I'm gonna select all of it, Command A and then Command C to copy, and then paste it here. Now you may ask that, all right, this is HTML, what about CSS? Okay, inside CSS code, you can ask ChatGPT, for example, I don't know if I have to copy and paste all the codes, all the, for example, CSS code or an HTML code here or not. I can open another window in ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT that, all right, if I want to change the addresses of images in my website, do I also need to make some changes in CSS file, or it only requires to make some changes in HTML? Then the response of ChatGPT will be that only HTML is required, so we don't need to copy and paste the CSS that we have right now inside the ChatGPT. because the way it is, it's working. There is no address here, right? So let's come here. Let's submit our prompt and let's wait for ChatGPT to make the required changes. Okay, the reason that I mentioned here that first tell me or show me, okay, because ChatGPT somehow can show you the folder structure, and here it is the way that it can show. So this is my website. This is the main folder that we have. Then inside it, we have HTML folder, okay, we have CSS folder, we have images, we have home, then we have all of these images inside home. Inside HTML, we have HTML, index.html, portfolio.html, services, contact.html, and so on. So first of all, let's create these folders until ChatGPT is rewriting the HTML code. So we need to create a folder called HTML, CSS, and images. We can create them here or we can create them here. It doesn't matter. Wherever you feel much better. I'm gonna create them here so you can learn how to create folders inside VS Code as well. So I'm gonna click on this icon, the second icon here, and I'm gonna name it HTML. Now the names must be exactly similar to what ChatGPT wrote here, because based on these names, it will make some changes in the code. Okay, so we have HTML, or you can come here and copy and paste it so you don't make mistake when you are creating a folder. Now, pay attention here. I have selected HTML. Okay, if I create a folder, it will create a folder inside HTML. I don't want that. I want my CSS folder to be here. So I'm going to select the main area and again, click on create folder, paste CSS. Here we have images. Again, I'm going to select the whole area, create folder and images. Now, if we come here, we have 3 folders. You could do the same here. You could come here and create the folders. Which one you think is easier for you? Now, we can come here. This is our index.html. You can just select it, hold the mouse, drag and drop it inside HTML. Okay, it asks you, are you sure? Click on move. Now, our index.html is inside HTML folder. Here we have CSS. Let's drag and drop it inside CSS. Yes, okay. And here we had another folder inside images. We had home folder. Now, what we have to do? We have to select the folder that we want the new folder be created inside that. So I'm selecting images, then click on new folder, paste the name, press enter. And now I'm going to select all the images that we have. Holding shift, you can select all of them, right? And drag and drop them on home. Okay, move. And it's not inside home, it's inside images. Let me check from here. No, it's not inside home, right? So it's working fine. Now the folder structure is exactly similar as ChatGPT provided here. All we need to do is to replace the codes with the new HTML code that ChatGPT wrote for us. So copy the new HTML code. Also here, it provided some explanation. In a moment, we'll get back to it. So let's come to index.html, select all, remove, and paste the new code, save it. Let's come to our website and let's refresh. Okay, now that I refresh, because we have changed the address of index.html, it's not working anymore. So we need to come here. Either you can come to HTML, drag this, okay, and drop it here, or you can come here, right click on index.html, copy path, okay, and come here and paste it. Okay, both will show you the same result. So everything looks perfect. The style looks same as before. The content is same as before. All the images have been loaded. It means that our new structure is working perfectly without any mistake or error. So let's come here. Let's close this. Let's come here and read the explanation. I want you to learn this because it can come handy. It wrote down the 2 dot at the start of each path allows the browser to go up one directory level from the current folder directory. Okay, so if we scroll up, for example, let's come here. These are the 2 dots that it mentioned, right? Wherever we are, when we add 2 dots, it will go one folder back. Okay, it means that. So if you want to have more information or learn more, you can read the explanation that ChatGPT provides. Okay, if you don't, it doesn't matter. Okay, if you just want to work with ChatGPT to create a website or create an application without doing anything with the codes, okay, you don't need to read them. ChatGPT will do the job. So that was all about the folder management. Okay, now everything is clean, and as we grow our website, it will be much simpler. Now, one thing, if you scroll up here inside our folder management, we have 3 other folders, 3 other files that we don't have yet. So we can come here and create them right now, and later we can use them. So we have portfolio.html. We can come here inside HTML files. Again, I have selected the HTML folder and then I clicked on new file, paste portfolio.html. Here we have services.html. Okay, we have services.html and contact.html. So all of these are inside our HTML folder. Right now we don't do anything with them, so I'm going to close them. And that would be all for this lesson. So if you're ready, let's go for the next part. Welcome to this part. In this lesson, we will talk more about the links inside our menu in the header. Now, if you pay attention, right now we are in our homepage, okay? And if I come here and if I click on one of these links, nothing will happen. For example, we have services. If I click on services, it will jump here. What if we want, when we click on services, open services page? Okay, what if we want it to work like that? So for now, we have created a file called portfolio.html. Okay, now if I click on portfolio, nothing happens. But what we want is that when we click on portfolio, this page opens. Okay, right now it's empty because there's nothing inside it, but we want it to happen like this. So what we need to do is to come here in ChatGPT and say, all right, so I mentioned that the links on my header are not opening the connected page. I want them to open the page connected to each topic. For example, if we click on portfolio, I want portfolio page to get opened. And here is the code for my header. Okay, as I mentioned, it is better when you want to talk about something specific and you want ChatGPT to make some changes. It is better to provide the codes that you have right now. Okay, this way ChatGPT make less mistakes. So here is our header. Here is the code. Okay, just copy and paste it. If you don't know which part of your code you should copy and paste, it's okay. Same as previous example, you can come here and say, all right, this is my HTML code. This is all the codes that we have right now, and then paste all of it. And then ChatGPT make changes, and then again, paste all of the changes that ChatGPT made inside your HTML file. So I'm in this example, I'm just gonna copy and paste the header part, okay? And let's wait for ChatGPT to make the changes and explain why this is not working. So it is telling us that we are using this symbol, okay? And when we use this symbol followed by a name, instead of opening a page, it will jump on the section that we have on that page, and it will show that section. That is why when we come to our website, okay, right now, here we have a section about services, okay? If we click on services, it will jump on services, okay? So if you want it to happen like this, instead of opening a new page, instead of adding a link, adding a hash sign followed by the name of that part will do the job. Of course, it's better to tell ChatGPT to make those changes if you are not familiar with HTML. So let's come here, and it explained why this is happening, and then it made the changes based on the folder structure that we have. Okay, that is why I told ChatGPT to create the folder structure in the previous lesson. Okay, I wanted ChatGPT to create the folder structure, then we come here and change the links. So I'm going to copy the header code and replace it with the code that I had earlier. Click on save, come back to my website, refresh it. Okay, everything looks same as before, but this time if I click on portfolio, it will open portfolio page. If I click on about me, it tries to open about me.html, but because we don't have any about me.html file here, it shows this to me. Right now we only have contact, portfolio, and services. So if we go back, services shows this, contact shows this, but the rest of it will show this error because the file simply doesn't exist. So if you want to make some links, you have to do it this way. For example, if we come here and click on read more, okay, it should jump on about me page. We can make that changes as well. So what I want you to do as a practice, I want you to go on your ChatGPT, okay, and make the changes required for linking these two buttons to the proper pages. This one should, when we click on read more under about me, it should jump on about me page. When we click on this button here, it should jump on services. So pause the video and complete this challenge. All right, so how was it? Did you manage to complete the challenge? I hope so. Let's come here to our ChatGPT, and we have to explain what buttons we want to change. So we need to explain that inside the About Me section, there is a button called Read More, and we want to link it to About Me page. Okay, when we click on this, go to About Me page. Also, we want this button to do the same thing. When we click on it, go to services. So we need to explain that to ChatGPT. Okay, one other thing, we also have this button here, explore our services. We can do the same with this one, okay? So we can explain that as well. All right, so I explained exactly what we want ChatGPT to do. I mentioned that on our homepage, we have two sections, About Me and Services. Each has a button, Read More and View All Services. And I want you to link them to the connected pages. So when we click on Read More under About Me section, it jump to About Me page. And the same for the other sections. Then we realize that we have another section with a button which is not linked, right? It will jump on services, or maybe it is okay, right? When we see this, when we click on this part, it will jump on services. Maybe this is better. So I'm going to remove this part. So let's run it and wait for, we have to stop it because it's better to provide the whole HTML code here. So ChatGPT changed the whole code. So it has started to change the code all from scratch. So it's easier. All we need to do is to just click on copy and paste the code. All right, the response is complete. Let's come here to the top, copy the HTML code and paste it with what we had before. Let's come here and let's refresh this page. Everything seems similar as before, But if we come here, click on About Me, it will jump on About Me page. If we click on View All Services, it will jump on Services page. But this one, oh, it changed this one as well. Okay, it's okay. You can make the changes that you want based on your need. I just wanted you to learn how to create links. So that was all about this lesson. If you have any question, you can write it down for me. If not, I will see you on the next part. So in this part, we are going to create the portfolio page. Right now, when we click on portfolio, it shows nothing because inside the code for portfolio, we have nothing, right? Now, what should happen? First of all, we must have the same header and the same footer, right? And then inside it, we must have, let's say, different sections. Okay, I want you to do this before I show you as a practice. Then I will show how you can do it, right? By practicing, you can get better at this stuff. So what we want to have at the top, we will have the header, right? Then under it, we will have, for example, some title with short description. Then we will have a section for example, interior design, okay, interior architecture. And then under it, we want to have different projects, okay, which we have an image. Under it, we have the name of the project, maybe the year for the project. And when we click on each of these, it will jump on another page connected to that project. And then under this interior architecture, we will have another category, exterior architecture, the same style. And at the bottom of the page, we will have the footer. So I want you to pause the video right now, okay? Go to your ChatGPT and do your best to explain whatever I told you to create a portfolio page. It's okay. It doesn't need to be perfect. It doesn't need to be as exactly as I said. It doesn't need to be exactly as I explained, okay? Do your best to create this page on your own. As I said, by practicing, you can get better at this stuff, okay? Do your best to complete this challenge, and after that, we will do it together as well. So pause the video. All right, so let's do it together as well. Let's come here and explain to ChatGPT what we want to happen. All right, so let me explain what I wrote till now. Now let's go for portfolio page and write the codes for it. First, I want you to use the same header and footer. So the header and footer is the main thing that we should take from the homepage that we built before, the header and the footer, right? Then I mentioned that then under the header, maybe we can have a title with some explanation about architecture. I mentioned that write, yeah, let's come here, close the parentheses, write some dummy content yourself. Then we must have two sections, one for interior architecture and one for exterior architecture. Now, the reason that I want us to have two sections here, because I want you to practice this, okay? And see how we can build such content using ChatGPT. So I mentioned that for each of these categories, I want you to write a title. Then under the title, we should have different related projects. We can have different rows, which each can include up to 3 or 4 projects. For each project, I want the related content inside a box or container, okay? Something like this. You see here, we have a container, right? Inside it, we have a text. And then I'm also mentioned with rounded corners. You see here is also rounded corners. At the top of this box, we must have a thumbnail image for that project, okay? Same as here, we have a thumbnail image, okay? And then we should have a title, right? Where is it? Image. then the project title under the image, and then a short description under the title. Then I mentioned that whenever we hover our mouse pointer on each of this project, we should see a backlight, and it must be clickable. And when we click on each of this project, it should take us to the connected project. Same as here, but here it's not clickable, right? When we, for example, hover our mouse point on a specific project, it should, when we click on it, it should jump on that page, right? And we can come here and mention how the folder structure should be. For example, we can have a specific folder for each of the projects, okay? All right, so I mentioned that each project can have different resources. So when you are building the links, remember to create a folder for each of the projects, right? And also show me how I have to create the folder structure and what I should name each folder for each project, okay? So the main task is to write the codes for the portfolio page, okay? So let's submit our prompt and see the result that ChatGPT will provide. All right, so as you can see, it's not writing all of the codes. Here we have the header here. It mentioned that the header that we had previously, we have to copy and paste it here. It's okay, we have it, but this is the part that I wanted ChatGPT to create, okay? It's not creating it. And for that, I want to provide more information, so ChatGPT write all the codes here as well. It was writing it separately, but I want it to be all together. So let's come here and let's edit the prompt. Okay, I mentioned that write all the HTML codes at once. And for each category, create between 3 to 6 dummy projects, okay, dummy projects with dummy content. So let's save it and see the response of ChatGPT. All right, somehow it's resisting to write the whole code. Anyway, we can do it as well. So let's copy and let's continue. Okay, here was the structure. So let's copy the HTML code it wrote inside portfolio. And here it added some style. Don't worry about it. Let's come here. We need to add the header. So let's go to our HTML file. Here is our header. Let's copy and paste it. Let's go to our footer. And let's copy and paste footer as well. Okay, so this part is ready. Let's load our website and see how does it look. All right, it looks like this right now. We have the content, but the style doesn't exist yet. Let's come here and see if provided. It didn't provide, okay? So let's tell ChatGPT to write the CSS code as well. Right, I mentioned write the CSS code to style the project cards the same way I explained in the previous prompt, okay? As I said, when the project get big, right, and we want to complete multiple tasks in one prompt, ChatGPT make mistakes, okay? To start to forget things, right? So it wrote the codes for CSS, and let's come here, copy the code, go to style.css and paste it here. Let's save it. Let's come here, refresh. It looks much better, but I don't like it, right? It's not what I want. So we need to work on the style. Let's go to home. Okay, it doesn't go to home as well. It's home.html. It should be index.html, right? So let's go back. We can come here and make the changes for the header as well. This should be index, because ChatGPT doesn't know what we named it. So let's come here to the header and change home to index, right? I just changed it to the name that we have in both of the headers. So when we come here and we refresh it, when we click on home, it jumps on home. We can tell ChatGPT to create the same style as our services. So let's do that. I'm going to come here and change the prompt that I just wrote. Right. So I mentioned that use the same style and the same color you used for services section in our homepage. You can see the codes below. HTML. Okay. Let's paste the whole index.html. And then, where is it? Let's write down CSS and paste the CSS code. Now here, let's remove the previous part we just copied and paste, because we are changing the previous prompt and this code was coming after it. We shouldn't have it. Let's remove all these parts and let's copy the whole CSS code and paste it here. Save it. All right, it's complete. Let's copy and paste this CSS code. Okay. Now this is for projects. Okay. We shouldn't copy and paste it on all of the codes that we had before. We should add it at the end of our CSS file. So it only wrote the CSS part, and let's come here. Let's refresh, go to portfolio. Okay. It's much better, but still I don't like it. It needs to be improved. Okay. So on the next lesson, we are going to improve the style of each part separately. Okay. So that was all for this lesson. You can download the source code from the resources of this lesson as well. So see you on the next part. All right. In the previous lesson, we created the structure of the portfolio page, and we tried to create the style as well with the help of ChatGPT, but it didn't work as we wanted to. Now in this lesson, we will only focus on the style. And we should remember the strategy I mentioned earlier inside this chapter. When we want to create complex stuff, it's better to focus on each part separately, because this way, with more focus on a specific part, ChatGPT can provide a better result. So here we are in the portfolio page, and let's focus on the first part, which is the title and the description under it. We will create the style of this part. If it was okay, then we will go to the next part, which is interior architecture. Okay, we'll create this part. Then if it was okay, we will go for the next part. So let's jump into ChatGPT. And here are the responses that ChatGPT provided in the previous part. And right now, I'm going to come here and continue. I'm going to share the code that we have right now for the portfolio page. Okay, so ChatGPT understand what do we have right now, and then we will focus on the first part. So let's scroll down. Here we have the header, right? Right now we want to focus on the intro section. So let's come here. All right, so I wrote down the style you provided is not what I wanted. So let's focus on each part of the portfolio page separately, right? I wrote down this to tell ChatGPT that what you did in the previous step, it's not working. So we need to change that, right? We need to let ChatGPT that we need to change direction. Then I wrote down, for now, I want you to only focus on the intro section, which include a title and a description. The theme must be dark. Okay, I'm reminding ChatGPT because the style that it used previously, it's not correct. So the theme should be dark, using the color and fonts you mentioned earlier, right? Then the next thing, which is really important, is that I mentioned if you have any additional question that can help you write better codes for this part, ask me before answering this prompt, okay? Since ChatGPT didn't complete the previous task correctly, I'm offering another opportunity to ChatGPT to ask any question. It has to provide a better response for us, right? So this part may help us to get a better response. Finally, I wrote down, in addition, I'm also providing the HTML and CSS code I have for the portfolio page, so you can make the changes if it is required. So let's come here, and this is my portfolio page. I'm going to select all, and I'm going to come down here, write down HTML, and oh, I pressed enter. So let's stop it, and let's edit it. Come here. I'm going to write down 3 quotations, and then in the between, I'm going to paste the HTML code, right? And let's come here, write down CSS, and here again, 3 quotations, 3 quotations. Let's go up, and let's go to the style.css. And here, if we look, the codes that we just brought, okay, it's after footer, right? The codes that we just imported for the portfolio page is only this part. So let's select all of it and copy and paste it here. Save and submit. All right, so the response is complete. It mentioned that you may add the following style for the introduction section. It wrote some codes, okay? And let's scroll down. And here it told us that we can keep the HTML code for the introduction section. And let's come here and copy and paste the CSS code. I think we are going to have some issues as well, because ChatGPT made some changes to the whole, to the main element that we have inside the page, because we didn't provide the whole CSS because it was too long. I think it thinks that we don't have these codes, okay? So as you can see, we are at the first part of the CSS file. Here we have body and some codes for it, and we have header and some codes for it. And if you scroll down, again, here we have body and header, right? But I'm not gonna touch it right now. Let's save it, and let's come to our page and make the changes and refresh it. So as you can see, the style doesn't look similar as before. And even if we come here to the previous page, as you can see, it affected here as well. The fonts is different, right? Let's go back here. So the problem, as I said, it goes back to the body and the header part. The rest should be okay, right? Okay, so we have the body, we have the header before. I think if we search for this, we should have, all right, we have one of this. Let's come here and search for this and see how many of these we have inside our CSS code. We have 4, right? So we have this before as well at the top. You see, we are doing this all over again. So we can come here, right? This part looks fine, but the header that we have, the previous one was much better, right? Because we worked on it, we spent some time creating it. So we can come here and tell ChatGPT, I mentioned that the new CSS code you wrote is better for intro section, but it also affected the header, which I didn't want to, because I had other CSS codes for header which were working fine. So can you rewrite the CSS code you provided above, but only for the intro section, not the header or other general parts of the page? So let's see what ChatGPT will write for us again. So it's only, if you pay attention, it is only focusing on the intro. Now, if you scroll down, here we have intro, right? So it starts from intro here. Let's scroll down. Right. So it wrote this intro part only. Let's come back here, remove the code that we added earlier, right? It was starting from here, and just paste the new code. Come here, refresh it. Works much better, right? So the header is intact with the previous style that we have. The style for the intro section is looking fine. Now we need to focus on the next part, which is interior architecture. So let's come here into the close index.html. So here we are in portfolio.html. We have our intro section, which is fine. Now we need to focus on this part, okay? Now here inside the code, if you pay attention, okay, it's written down, copy and modify the .project div, okay, for more projects, okay? So it is telling us if we want to have more project card here, let me come to this page. If you want to have more of these, if we just copy and paste this, okay, we must have more examples. So let me come here and refresh it. Okay, we have more, but this is not what I wanted. So I'm going to go back, and I just wanted to show what ChatGPT wrote for us and what will be the result. So let's save it, and I'm going to copy this part, okay, the interior architecture part section. Let's copy it, and let's come to ChatGPT, and let's tell ChatGPT to work on the style of this part. All right, so till now I wrote down that now let's work on the next section, which is interior architecture. The style we have right now is bad and messy. I want us to have a title for interior architecture, and then under it we must have rows of project cards. Inside each row we must have a space for 3 project card, and for now I want you to write the codes for only 3 project cards, okay? And if you have more project cards, it will go to the next row and the next row and the next row after that, okay? So inside parentheses, I mentioned that these 3 project cards will be placed side by side each other inside the first row, okay? Remember, the theme must be dark and use the colors and fonts that you offered before. Inside each project card, we must have an image, then the title of the project and a short description. Write the codes for this part, and then we will improve it together. Then at the end, I mentioned that also here is the HTML and CSS code that we have for this part. So we need to come here, let's write down HTML, colon, 3 quotations, and inside it we'll place the HTML code only for this specific section that we have. All right. Then let's come here, write down CSS, 3 quotations. Let's come here. Now, if you scroll up, this is additional. So if you don't have any coding experience, you have to copy and paste the whole code, the whole HTML code to ChatGPT so it can find the related code for the project card. But here inside the head, we have a style tag, which inside it we have CSS code. So right now this style part has some effect on our project card. If I hover the mouse, you see this part become white, right? And if I just select and remove it, let's say we don't have it at all. If I come here and refresh, if I hover the mouse on this part, now it's not changing. Only this part is changing, and that is because we have the code inside the CSS part, okay? So this was something additional. But again, if you don't have the programming knowledge, okay, this HTML and CSS programming knowledge, it's very simple. All you need to do is to just copy paste the whole code to ChatGPT and let ChatGPT decide which parts need to be changed, okay? So since I don't know which part we need to change, I'm going to come here. This is the footer, which we did earlier for the previous page. And from here, we made some changes on the portfolio page, right? Here we have project card and the images related to that. I'm going to select all of them until the intro section, which we made some changes right now at the beginning of this lecture. So let's come here and paste the CSS code here as well. And let's wait for the response of ChatGPT. All right, so the HTML part is ready, okay, only for this section. And if you pay attention here, we have project 1, okay, then project 2, then project 3. So I'm going to copy it, come to the HTML part, and replace it with the section that we had earlier. Okay, save it. Let's come to style. And since we don't want this project card style that we had before, I'm going to remove them all. Okay, so we have footer, then we have intro, then we are going to have the rest of the style for the project card. I think, yeah, it's complete. So let's copy it all, come here and paste it. Save it, come back to our portfolio page, refresh it, and now it looks much nicer, right? So here we require images, okay? Let's create these images using Midjourney, right? And then we will come back here and work on the title and the dummy description, okay? So let's come here to the Midjourney, and we require 3 images for the interior project, okay? So for the interior architecture. So we're gonna come here. I'm gonna create a curly brackets. Inside it, I'm gonna write down interior of a all right, so I wrote down interior of an apartment, of an office, and a villa. Okay, so we are gonna have 3 images, and then I wrote down modern, minimal, with the aspect ratio of Full HD 16:9. So let's press enter and then verify it. And let's wait for the images to get ready. All right, the images are ready. So the first one here, we have the office. And from these, I'm going to select the second one. So let's upscale it. Then we will have the villa. Okay. And from these options, I think I'm going to go with the first one. Okay. Upscale it. And here we will have the interior design of an apartment. Okay. I'm going to go with the second one. Let's save all these pages. And let's come here before we save it. Let's check for the name. Let's come to HTML. And here we have the interior architecture section. For the images, we have interior 1, interior 2, and interior 3. Okay, so let's just copy the image name. And here, the name must be changed to PNG. Okay, because the format of the images that we receive from Midjourney is PNG. So I'm going to save this. This is, let's say, the first one, okay, interior 1.png. Then we will have the villa, okay. Let's save it. This one will be interior 2. And then we will have the apartment, which will be interior 3, okay. So let's come here inside images, and here let's come to the address. So inside images, we have another folder called portfolio. We need to create that folder. We are in there under images. Here we have home. Let's create portfolio as well. And inside portfolio, we need to copy and paste the images we just made, right? Let me make it bigger. So these are the 3 images. And if we come here and if we refresh it, we'll see the images. Now, on the next lesson, we will work on the style of each project card separately, okay? This way it looks fine, more or less, but when we hover the mouse on it, you see the color appeared under it, the backlight, we can say it's not looking so good. We need a better project title and description, and maybe a button under it that if we click on it, it will jump to the page of this project, okay? Or maybe we can convert the image to a button. So whenever we hover the mouse on it, it make it, for example, darker a bit, and we can click on it and jump into the project page, okay? So on the next lesson, we will work on the style of each project. So let's go for the next part. All right, during the previous lesson, we created the style for the intro section and the interior architecture section, okay? It looks nice, right? In this part, we will work on the style of each project card. So let's come here and let's explain to ChatGPT the situation that we are in right now, that the style you wrote for interior architecture is fine, but we need to improve each project card, okay? So let's come here and write down. All right, so I wrote down that the style for the interior architecture is fine, but we need to improve the style for each project card. And then I explained the situation. Right now, when I hover the mouse on each project card, it shows a backlight, which I want you to remove it. Instead, when I hover the mouse on the image of each project card, make it a bit darker and clickable. So when we click on it, we jump into the page for that specific project. Okay, so when we come here, when we hover, this image gets darker, and when we click on it, we should jump into another page just for this specific project. Okay, so let's press enter and see what we will receive. All right, so the first part, the HTML code is ready. Let's copy it. And to come here, let's select the whole interior architecture section and replace it. Let's save it. Okay, now let's come to style, scroll down, and it is started from interior architecture section. Okay, it wrote all of it again. Let's click on continue generating, and right, it's complete. Let's copy it, come here, and we have interior architecture. Okay, this starts from, I think, from somewhere around here, right? Interior architecture. Let's select all of it and copy and paste it, save, come here, refresh. Okay, it made the changes, but we don't see the images. Okay, let's come here. So we changed the address probably for the images. Okay, it wrote down JPG. Because of that, we don't see it. So if we change the first one to PNG, we must be able to see the image, right? Okay, and you see when we hover the mouse on it, it gets darker and it is clickable. And if we click on it, it tries to jump into interior-project-1.html, but since we don't have this page, it shows nothing. So let's make the changes here to PNG for the rest of the images. PNG, save it, come here, refresh it, boom, it's working, right? It looks nice. Now the next thing that we need to do is to explain the topic of each project. So ChatGPT write a title and a dummy description for it. So let's come here. All right, I made a mistake here. So I explained that the style looks good. Now I want you to help me with writing a title and a short 10-word description for each of these projects. Okay, project 1 topic, interior of an office. Okay, project 2 topic. Okay, it will be interior of a villa. Okay, and project 3 interior will be interior of an apartment. Okay, so let's save it. All right, so here is the title. I'm going to copy this title and let's scroll up. Here is the project one title. I'm going to place it here. And then here is the description for it. Let's come here and replace it with this description. Okay. Let's go for project two. Copy and paste. In general, you have to do this with the real project that you have, but I'm just showing you the way. So if, for example, you have the information about your own project, how you have to place it inside your codes, okay? Or you can tell ChatGPT that, for example, right here are the names of my project. Replace these names and these descriptions inside the HTML code, okay? And ChatGPT will do that for you. But anyway, I'm showing it how you have to replace it yourself as well. So you won't face any issues or difficulties along the way. So we have placed all the information. If we come here and refresh it, it looks much nicer, right? Now we can keep doing the same thing with the exterior architecture, okay? So I can just copy and paste the same thing and change the information and change the images, right? So if I come here, let's come to the interiors architecture section, okay? Let's select all of it and then come here and replace it with the exterior architecture. If I save this and come here and refresh, we will have two of this, right? And all I have to do is to just change the information, okay? So I'm going to come here. Instead of interior, I'm going to replace the name with exterior, okay? And then let's come to ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT to write the same topic, but for exterior, right? I wrote down that thank you. Now I want you to write the same thing for 3 exterior projects. Okay, so now it's again, it's office, it's villa, and it's an apartment, but it's the exterior of it. Okay, so let's take these names and create the images as well. Let's come here to Midjourney, Imagine, and all right, so I took the titles that ChatGPT wrote for us, okay, and placed them here inside curly brackets. And after that, I added modern, minimal with aspect ratio of Full HD. Let's press enter and verify that. So we will have 3 prompts here for each of, each will be for one of our projects. Okay, let me see. I think one of them failed to process our command. Let's see. Okay, let's press yes again. Okay, so this one is for villa. Okay. This one is for office. And still one of them is failed. Okay. Until the images get ready, let's come here and place these titles and their description inside the exterior part for each project. So this is project 1. Okay. Title. And then the description for it. Okay, let me make it a little bit smaller so we can select everything in one catch. Okay, elegant villa exteriors. Let's come here and the description. Right, so the names are complete. Let's come here to look at the images. Right, only one of them was executed. Okay, and rest are facing some issues. Okay, let me try that again with Midjourney and remove, since we have the office exterior, so I'm going to remove that. imagine, place this, and let's remove the office. Okay. Press enter. Yes. Let's wait for the images to get ready. So we will have two prompts here. Okay, for some reason it's not starting. Sometimes their servers are overloaded, and these issues may happen. Okay, you can come to their channel and look at the announcement or look at the news that they have. Maybe they have some issues with their servers. So I'm gonna cancel this prompt and write it again myself. Okay, let's create the image for the villa. So I'm gonna write down imagine. Okay, and remove the second part. Okay, press enter. I hope it starts. Okay, it's all right. It's starting. Okay, so we have the villa here, and let's wait for it to get complete. So I'm gonna come here and select one of these offices. I think this one looks much better, right? I don't know why I like number 2 all the time. So let's come here and save it. Let's see the name of the. Okay, we need to change the name as well. So it's under a portfolio and exterior. It's exterior 2, exterior 3, and exterior 1. Okay. So let's come here, right click, save it, and this will be exterior 1. And okay, this is for the villa, right? It's nice, right? I think this one, 1 and 4, it's really interesting for me. I'm gonna select number 4. And let's see if we have the apartment as well, right? Okay, this is the villa, right? Okay, it's doing it again. All right, here is the apartment. So this is the villa. Let's save the image. Exterior will be, this one will be 2. And we need to wait for the number 3, which is the apartment. Let's wait for the image. Okay, it's ready. And let's select maybe, let's come here. This is nice. This is also nice, but it is very cold, right? This is also good. Okay, I'm gonna go with this one, number 3. Upscale number 3. Let's save it as exterior 3 and come here, and we need to copy and paste the images here. I think it's done, right? Let's refresh it. Okay, the images didn't change. Did we save? Okay, we didn't save it. Let's save it and let's come here and refresh. Okay, so it's nice, right? Here we have interior architecture for each of them. Okay, and here we have exterior. Now, one other thing that we need to change, because we just copied this part and pasted here, also the address, the clickable address for each of them are similar. Okay, now you can tell ChatGPT that, all right, I did this thing, I copied and pasted the interior section for the exterior. Okay, but the links are the same. Let me show you. If we come here, let's come. If I click on this one, okay, we will go to interior-project-1.html. Okay, if I click on this one, we will go to interior-project-1. Okay, so we need to change that. We can come here. This is the interior architecture, and here is the address. Okay, this is the same address. Whenever you want to find something, okay, for example, we clicked on this, you found this, okay, just copy this part. Okay, come here and paste it inside the search bar and you will find it. Okay, now as you can see, we have 2 of this. Okay, and the other one is for exterior. So all we can do, we can come here and make these changes. Okay, instead of interior, let's go to exterior project 1. Okay, same goes here and here. Okay, again, you can do all these with ChatGPT, but to make it just faster, and I want you to get better at finding stuff inside the code, you can just search for it and find it, right? So let's go back here And here is our portfolio page, and it looks nice. So till now we have created 2 pages, the home page, right? And the portfolio page, and it looks nice. And on the next page, we will work on the project page. So when we click on each of these projects, for example, this one, what we will see on the next page. So that was all about this lesson. I will see you in the next part. All right, welcome to the next lesson. Till now, we have created the portfolio page, which includes 2 sections, interior architecture and exterior architecture. Now, quickly in this lesson, we will create the structure and we do our best to create a style for each project page. So when we click on each of them, okay, it opens another page with some specific style and information and maybe more images of that project, okay? So let's come here to ChatGPT and explain what do we want. All right, so till now I wrote down that thank you for the work it did for the previous part. And then now I want you to write the HTML codes for each project page as a template. So when we click on the image of each project, it jumps into the project page. So create a folder inside HTML folder. I'm referring to this part. So we have HTML. Here we require another folder, which inside it we keep the project HTML for each of our projects, okay? And then I mentioned that let's talk about the structure of this project page. Inside it, we have 3 sections: intro section, image gallery, and project information. Inside the intro section, we will have the main image of the project on the left and the title and description on the right. Then for the second section, we will have a row or rows of images under this intro section. And after that, we will have some detailed information about the project. So let's save and submit it and see the response of ChatGPT. So here is the HTML code for it. And it's not repeating the code for header. So it just put the place of it so we know what we should do. And it's just writing the section. So this is the intro section. We have the image, right? And the project title and the description. After that, we will have the images, okay? And if you want to have, for example, more images, we have to copy and paste this part. And then we have the section for the information, okay? So this is the HTML code for it. All right, it didn't explain the first part, the first task which we asked it to create the folders for it. It doesn't matter. I'm going to just copy the HTML code. Let's come here inside HTML. Let's create another folder and let's call it project. Okay. And inside it, I'm going to create another. I'm going to create the first HTML code, HTML file here, which will be named interior project -1.html. Okay. Save it. Paste the code that we just got from the ChatGPT. And remember that here we require to paste the header and footer. So let's scroll up. And here is the header. Okay. Copy it. Okay. And let's scroll down. And here is the footer part. Copy it. And it comes here. Save it. So let's come to our website, refresh it, click on this. And all right, we need to fix the address. So when we are on portfolio, when we click on, let's say the first image, which is, all right, so here on our project card, the address is html/portfolio, etc. Okay. I made with the folder that I created is project. So we can replace that with portfolio. Okay, we can right click on the folder and click on rename, select rename and paste portfolio. Now if we come back and click on this link, it's working fine. But some of the things are not working well. So let's come here. The logo here it's not working well, and that is because we go back one folder. Okay, we are inside portfolio. We go back and then we are looking for folder images. We don't have any folder images here. So you can just, again, you can explain to ChatGPT that, right, I did all of the things you mentioned, but the logo, it's not visible. And here's my HTML code. And then ChatGPT explained that you need to add one of these here. Okay. And then it will show the logo. Okay. So you can keep doing this. If you face any issues, just ask ChatGPT that, all right, I have this problem. How do I fix it? Okay. So the structure is working fine. Okay. We need to add the images and the style. Okay. So that was all for this lesson, for the structure of it. And the next lesson, we will work on the style of it. All right. So the style is working fine. Now we require to add the images and the style. So for now, let's add the images. Here we are inside our interior project. And let's look for the main image. So here we have the header. Then we have the image here. Okay, it jumps into images portfolio and then this image. Okay, but if we come here inside the images, we have for portfolio and we require to show this image. Okay, interior one.png. So I'm gonna click on rename, copy the name of it. Come back here. We are inside interior dash project dash one. Okay. And this is our main image. I'm gonna just replace the name to load this image. Refresh it. And here's the image. Because we don't have any style for it, it doesn't look so well, right? It's so big and we require it to work on it. So let's come to ChatGPT and let's work on the first part, on the style of the intro. Okay. So I'm gonna come here and write down all right, I wrote down that, okay, let's work on the style of the intersection. The theme must be dark and use the colors you mentioned before. The title of this project is this, and I want you to write a paragraph of description, then write the CSS code for to style this section. So, all right, so it will write this section with the new content that I provided. I'm not just going to copy and paste all of it because the image will be changed. So I'm just going to copy and paste the title and the description of it. Let's come here and we should replace this information. Let's come here and let's look at the CSS file. So let's copy it. Come here. Before we copy it, because all of the styles that we are working is in one file, come here and check if we have this name before. Okay, all right, so we don't have it and it's safe to use it. So let's come here, paste it, and it was complete, right? Yeah, it was complete. So let's come here and refresh it. All right, it looks nice, right? So we have our product image, our project main image, then the title of it on the right side, and then a short description of it. Under it, now we need to work on the image gallery. Okay, so let's come to our ChatGPT page and let's explain the next task. All right, I mentioned that what you did till now, it looks fine, right? Let's create the style for the next section. We will have a row, which inside it, we will have 4 small images of this project. Use dark theme with the colors that you have used till now. Write the CSS code for it, okay? So it wrote down the HTML code as well because we added 4 images, okay? So let's copy that part, come here, Where is it? Okay, so this is the first section. This is the image gallery section. Let's replace it here. And then we'll have the CSS code for it. It's complete. Copy the code and come down here. Save it. And let's come here and refresh it. Okay. Right. So we have 4 images. The place of it is ready, but we need to add the images. So remember that this is the title of our project. I'm going to come into Midjourney and let's create 4 interior images of this project for different sections of this office. So I'm going to write down interior of the title of our project, and then I'm going to add main office. Okay, remember to add the style, modern and minimal, and then we will have the aspect ratio --AR 16:9. Okay, I'm going to copy all of okay. I'm going to copy all of it. Okay, and paste it again and make some changes. Now this was for the main office. Okay, now let's do, for example, conference hall. Okay, next let's do reception. Okay, and next let's do cubicles. Okay, let's wait for all the images to get ready. Okay, so the first one, which is the main office, is ready, and I think maybe we can use this one. Okay, number 2. So let's upscale it. And this one is for the conference hall. Okay, it's not quite what I wanted. So I'm gonna do this all over again. /imagine. I'm just gonna mention that interior of office conference hall. Okay, let's wait for this one to get ready and let's save this one. Main office, save it. And all right, so here we require to put the images, and let's come to our page, to our HTML code, and it should be inside portfolio gallery image 1 dot should be png. Okay, png, and let's bring the image inside this file. The other images are getting ready. Portfolio, and okay, image gallery 1. Okay, it was much better if we had a folder here, for example, project 1. Okay, and then inside it we have this, for example, main office image. Okay, so let's write the name of it, image gallery 1. Okay, but we need to add project 1 inside the address as well. So project 1 /. Okay, I'm going to replace this part for the rest of them, and then we'll make the essential changes. So it will be all in project 1, then it will be image 2, image 3, and image 4. Let's save it, come here and refresh. So we have the first image. Okay, it's ready. Let's come to the rest of the images. This is for reception area. Okay, maybe I'm not sure, maybe this one works well with the style that we have. Okay, so let's select the first one, upscale it, This one is for cubicles, okay. And I think maybe this one works well with our style, number 2. And finally, we will have the conference hall. Okay, it's not really good, so let's do it again as well. Imagine, let's instead of conference hall, write down conference room with long table. Let's wait for it to get ready and let's save this. Save this image. And for the name, we require to use, for example, gallery dash image 2 or 3 and so on. So this one will be image 3. At the top of it, we have this part will be image 2. And the last one, which is under production, will be image 4. All right, the images are ready. Let's select one of them. I think with the style that we have, either this one or this one works well. Okay, let's select number 3. Upscale it, and this will be our 4th image of our gallery. Let's save it. Okay, come here and bring all the images. And if we come to our page and refresh it, we will have all the images. Okay, all right, so here is the gallery. Now, the thing is that we want that it work like this, that when we click on it, okay, we see a pop-up appear here with the big size of the image, okay? So we can, for example, close it or go to the next gallery, next image or previous image, okay? So let's do that for now. Let's come here to our ChatGPT page and explain what we want. All right, so I explained that the style of and the structure of this image gallery is fine right now. Now I want you to use JavaScript. So when we click on each of the gallery images, a pop-up opens and shows the image in big size. When the pop-up is visible, make everything else darker, okay? And a close button to close the image gallery, right? And a next and previous button as well to load the next image or the previous image on the gallery. Here is the HTML code that I have right now on this page. So let's come here and copy everything that we have because we made some changes in the HTML code and we need to inform ChatGPT of these changes. And now at the end, I'm going to write down, now write all the required codes to complete this task. Okay, so I think it should write the codes for HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So let's wait for it to complete this part. Okay. All right, so it explained that let's create a lightbox gallery. Okay, and we need to add this section to the bottom of our HTML files. Okay, so I'm just going to copy this, okay, and come here inside the HTML, but I'm gonna add it at the bottom, okay. I'm not sure, but it explained, it told me to add it at the bottom of the HTML file, but it should be inside the body part, okay, before the body or HTML ends. So I added it. Let's save it. And let's scroll down. Here is the CSS code for it, okay. And then we will have JavaScript. So let's copy the CSS code, come to CSS for next part and save it. And then here it mentioned finally add this JavaScript to your page to control the lightbox behavior. Okay, so you can ask ChatGPT where I should add this code. Okay, but since I know it, I'm going to copy it. We should add it again at the bottom of this page, okay? At the bottom of the HTML code inside the body. So I'm going to save it. Let's scroll down. And we need to come here. It mentioned that we need to add onClick, etc. attribute to each of the images. So this is the image gallery. If we scroll, we will have onClick, current slide 1. Okay, so we need to add something like this to each of the images. Let's see if we have it right now. Let's scroll up. Okay, so here is the image gallery, and we don't have it. So let's add it. We have, okay, this is for first image. I'm just going to add it and change the numbers. Okay, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, you can, again, ask ChatGPT to make these changes itself. So I think more or less it should work. Let's refresh. Let's click on it. Okay, it's not working. So there should be an error. Let's come here, click on inspect. And when you want to see if there is an error, if you open inspect, if you come to console, okay, you will see it. Did we refresh? Yeah, we refreshed, but it's not working. All right. So when this happens and you don't see any error inside the console as well, okay, the best way is to just select everything that we have, okay, copy everything that we have inside our HTML file, and come here to ChatGPT, explain that, all right, I did what you asked, and here is the file that I have, but it's not working. It's not opening the pop-up, and it's also not showing any error. All right, I mentioned that I added everything you mentioned, but when I click on each image gallery, it's not doing anything. Also, there is no error inside console. All right, so after that, I mentioned here is the complete HTML code I have for this page. Please review it, find the issue, fix it, and then please rewrite the whole correct HTML code, okay? So this way, all we need to do is to just copy and paste the final result that ChatGPT write for us, okay? So it looked at it, it found the problem, okay? The issue is with this function, it's supposed to show the model, and currently it's not doing that. So it is rewriting the whole code, but it fixed it as well. Okay, so let's wait for this part to get complete. All right, the whole code is ready now. Okay, all we need to do is to scroll up, copy the code, come here, select everything, remove it, paste the new code, and save it. Let's come to our page, and now it should work. So when we click on it, okay, we have the next arrow here, we have the cross, which will close it. And going to the next image, previous image, right? It's working crazy. And I like it a lot. You see, with just explaining what we wanted to ChatGPT, we have built a great website in a really short time, right? So that's really great. And you can keep doing this. I just wanted you to know if you face a situation like this, that all right, we have a gallery, and if we click on it, how it will be done. If we want to use JavaScript code, what we have to tell ChatGPT. I wanted you to see this and learn it as well. Okay, so the rest of the part on this page is very simple. It's similar as before. All you need to do is to just come here and continue what we have done. Also, remember one thing, on all of these lectures, after we are done with each lecture, I put all the source codes. For example, for this page, I'm going to put this code and this code inside the resources of this lesson. Okay, so if you want to have it, you can simply go to this lesson and download it. And by the end of this chapter, I will put the whole code for this website inside the resources so you can download all of the pages and use it for yourself. Maybe change the text and change the images, right? So that was all for this lesson. I hope you enjoyed it. And remember, you will learn only by practicing. So whatever we do, just keep practicing it, keep doing it yourself. And if you have any question, you can always reach me. So I will see you on the next lesson. Welcome to the next lesson. Till now, we have created our homepage, our portfolio page, and a template for our project page, okay? The template that we have created, you can just duplicate it, right? You can just, here's the HTML file. You can just copy and paste it, change the name, okay? And then inside it, change the content, the information, and the images for other projects, okay? So you get the idea how you can continue creating pages for each of the projects that you have, right? Now, in this lesson, I want us to focus more on the contact page, okay? I want us to have a way for our visitors to contact us. Now, let's say we have absolutely no idea what to put inside this page, okay? So I'm gonna come here to ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT to create the structure for a contact page. And after that, when we are satisfied with the content or the structure on this page, then we will go after the style. So I'm gonna write down all right, so I wrote down that let's go for the next page, which is product page. And then I mentioned, based on the topic of my website, I want you to just write the HTML codes and the content you think is required for my users to have on this page in order to contact me, okay? So I'm letting the hands of ChatGPT be open and see what ChatGPT is going to create for us for this specific page. All right, the code for HTML is ready, right? And we can come here, copy the code. Let's go to contact.html and paste the code here. Let's save it, come to our website, refresh it, click on contact, okay? So as you can see, we don't have any style here. And even though that we have the content for the header and we have the content for the footer, we don't have any style. I think this is because there is no, right, there is the link here, but I think the link is not correct probably, right? Here we are inside. Let me explain this to you. When you are writing an address, okay, each of these two dots, it means go back one folder, okay? So here we are inside the HTML folder, okay? So if we go back one folder, we will be in the main folder, we'll be here. And then it's going one folder back again, okay? So it will be out of the main folder, and then it starts to look for CSS folder, which doesn't exist. So the problem is here. If I remove that, the first two dots and forward the slash, it should work. So if I come here and refresh it, now we have the style, okay? It means that the style, the CSS file was found, but the images is not found yet, okay? So we have to do the same here. And let's go down to the footer. And we also have the same issue. Let's save it, refresh, and now we have the logo as well. Of course, you can tell ChatGPT that, all right, the code that you wrote is fine, but the CSS file is not loading, right? Or the images or my logo is not loading. What should I do? And it will explain and help you how you can fix it. So here, as you can see, we have a title, then a description under it, then we have a form, which we can write down our name, our email, and our message, and then submit it, okay? Of course, when we click on submit, it tries to load a page called submit_form.php, but because it doesn't exist, it shows this page. Under it, we have some additional information, okay, about email, phone, and address, right? And now we can work on the style. So let's come here, fix the style. After that, maybe on the next lesson, we will work on the functionality of this form. So when we click on submit, it actually send an email to us. Okay, so let's come here and let's ask ChatGPT to write the codes for CSS. All right, I mentioned that the structure is good. Now I want you to write the CSS code for this page inside parentheses, except header and footer, which we already have the style. Remember to use dark theme with the colors and fonts you mentioned before. The style should look modern and minimal. So let's press enter and wait for the response. And then we will copy and paste it inside our CSS code. All right, the CSS code is ready, but since I know how to write CSS code, I noticed something here. In the first part of this code, ChatGPT wrote a part for the body tag, okay? This will affect all of our other pages as well, okay? It's changing the background color and the main color of the fonts. So let me show you. If we come here to our CSS file and if we scroll up, okay? Here we have the body tag, okay? We already have used it. Now, when you copy and paste all of this code inside your CSS file, you may see some changes in other pages. And based on that, again, you have to come back here and contact ChatGPT and tell it, all right, the changes that you made has had these effects. So I want you to change it and make it another way, right? But since I will know how it will look, I'm going to come here and change it and wait for the response again. All right, I explained that write the CSS code specific for each section of this page and do not write general CSS codes that will affect the whole page because I'm using the same CSS file on all other pages of my website. Okay, so let's save and submit. All right, now if you pay attention, it's writing specifically for each section, similar to what we had before. And for example, for contact dash section, as you can see here, we have the background color. Now it's changing the background color specifically for each section separately, okay, instead of changing it all at once. Okay, so I'm going to copy the code, come here inside CSS file and paste it here. Let's come to our page and refresh it. It looks much nicer, right? We have the contact me, then we have our form where we can write our message, right? And then some additional information. Now we can spend some time on the style and make it look better. We can add some distance here, maybe add a border to this form, right? But in general, it looks good, and it based on your taste, you can improve it. That would be all for this lesson. On the next part, we will work on the messaging system. Okay, when we click on submit, it works. Okay, so if you have any question, write it down for me. If you want to download the same files that I'm using right now in each lesson, you can download them from the resources of this lesson, right? So that was all for this part. I will see you in the next lesson. During the previous lesson, we have created the contact me page. Okay, so we have our form, we have some information, how to contact us directly, but the form that we have here is not working. So when we click on submit, it shows this page and it is trying to look for a file called submit_form.php, and we don't have this file, right? So we have to come here to our ChatGPT, and when ChatGPT created the structure for this page, at the bottom of it, it wrote down, remember to replace submit_form.php in the form action with the path to the script on your server that will handle form subscript, a form submission. If you want to handle the form submission in another way, such as with JavaScript or an API, you can adjust it accordingly. Okay, so we can come here and talk about this. We can tell ChatGPT that, all right, the form is not working and how we should change it based on what we have. So I'm going to come here and write down. I wrote down the style looks good based on our previous task. Then I mentioned now let's work on the form submission. Now when we click on the form, it shows nothing. How we can make some changes so when users write a message for us, we receive that message as an email. So let's see the response. All right, the answer is complete. So here, if we read the answer of ChatGPT, it mentioned that we require a server to do this. It wrote a PHP code for us, and it also made some changes in the form, in the HTML code that we had earlier inside this. Where is it? Inside this form. Okay. So based on this answer, we require some server, and right now, because this website is only on our computer, we cannot do that. Okay, but we can keep explaining our situation to ChatGPT and let ChatGPT to offer us better solutions. All right, so for our situation that we don't know how to write codes, I wrote down right now I don't have any server and I don't know how to set up a server to do this task, right? My website right now is on my local computer only, and later I want to upload it on a host, but I don't know how to set the server to handle the email part. Is it possible to write some JavaScript code that handle sending email, and later when we upload on my website on a host, it starts to work, right? So let's see what ChatGPT will answer. All right, so the answer is complete. And if we come up here, ChatGPT provided some steps how we can accomplish this task. So it mentioned that with just JavaScript we cannot do this, but there are some libraries that can help us, like email.js, right? And we can use the API of email.js. It sounds complicated, but actually when we look at the steps, they are simple. So it mentioned to include this code, right, inside our page. So I'm just going to copy it, right? Here's our page. I'm going to come at the bottom of this page and paste this code here. For step 2, it mentioned that we require a user ID, right? So we need to have this code inside our HTML file, but instead of this part, we need to replace it with our user ID. So I'm going to copy this code, come here. So here is the code, but we need to replace this user ID. So we need to go to a website called email.js, okay, create a free account. So let's do that. It explained it at the bottom here as well. But let's come here. I haven't done this before, so it is new to me as well. I just came on Google and searched for email.js, right? And let's click on it and let's see their website and see what they have. So they have a pricing. We can create a free account. Let's look at the pricing. So we can have 2 email templates, 200, I think 200 emails per month. It will be free. 2,000 email per month. It will be $9 and it will keep going. Okay. So let's come here and let's click on create free account. All right, I have created my account. Now let's sign in. Okay, we have to confirm our email And I just went to my email and there was an email there, and I clicked on the link and it confirmed my email. Now we can sign in again. And here we are, okay? So if we go to ChatGPT, we require a user ID. So if we scroll down here, there will be more information. So it wrote down, please note, to use email.js, you need to create a free account on their website, set up service, okay, where your emails will be sent from. So we have to come here. We should look for a service, right? Add a new service. Here it is, okay? So here we can select some email, okay? And here there is a service ID, there is a name, and here we can click on connect account and it will open Gmail, and we can select one of our emails and connect that email to this account, as far as I understood right now. So I clicked on this button here and it jumped on Gmail and I connected one of my emails, and I think I have to click on create service. And as you can see, this is my first time doing this, right? And this is new to me as well. And I'm just following what ChatGPT mentioned, right? So here it explained that after you have created the service, which will be used to format your emails, the service ID and template ID in the JavaScript code will be needed to be replaced with the ones that we have created. So if we come here, probably somewhere inside the codes that ChatGPT wrote for us, we should have, yeah, here it is, service ID and template ID, okay? So this was in step number 3, but still we need to find your user ID. So let's come here and somewhere in our account, okay, we must have our user ID. Right, so here there is an API key, okay, but I cannot find the user ID, right? So I'm gonna come here again and I'm gonna tell ChatGPT that what I accomplished till now, and I couldn't find user ID, but I could find API key and what was it? The public key and private key, okay? So let's come here and explain it. All right, I explained that I created an account on email.js, and then I created the service. I found the service ID and template ID, but I couldn't find user ID. When I looked at my account tab, I just found the API, private, and public key. So let's see what ChatGPT tell us. Right, so here it wrote that you can find the user ID on your account in a tab called integration page, okay? The integration will provide this code to you, okay? But after that, it mentioned, however, if it's still not working, you cannot find the user ID, you can use the API, the public key for this process. So instead of writing user ID here, we can write our API public key. So if I come here to my account and I just copy the public key and come to my code and replace it. Okay. And let's come to our ChatGPT and continue with the rest of the steps. So here we need to create a function. All right, let's copy this code and come here at the end of this page and copy and paste it. And we need to replace service ID and template ID with what we will have here. This is our service. So here is the service ID, okay, that we have. I'm going to paste it here, and then we will have template ID. Right here, there is another tab called email template. Okay, let's create an email template here. Okay, and I'm gonna just keep it the same way as it is. Let's save it. Okay, it was successfully saved. And do you see any ID here? All right, so here is the setting, and inside the setting we have template ID. Okay, as I said, this is all new to me as well. So this is my very first time doing this. So I just got the service ID and template ID, and the rest should be fine. and then we need to call this function when we submit this form. So it wrote the HTML code for our form again. I'm just going to copy it, and we have to replace it from this part, div, which has a class of contact form, until after the form tag. So let's scroll up here, and here it is. I'm going to replace it here, save it. Let's come to our contact page, refresh it. Okay, let's try it. My name is, for example, Tom. Okay, my email, let's say, is tom@gmail.com, and let's write down, hi, I'm just testing this system. Okay, so let's click on send, and okay, there's nothing happening. All right, after a couple of seconds, I received this email, okay, on my email list, and as you can see, here is the message, hi, I'm just testing the system, okay, and I'm receiving this email like this, okay, based on the email template that we have created on our email.js website. Okay, so if you want to make some changes in the email that you receive, you have to change the template. Okay, as you saw, it wasn't difficult to complete these steps, and even though that it was my very first time, I was able to create this system, and it is working. And if you want to make it look better, all we need to do is to just come here and work on the template and improve the way it works. Okay, but in general, with this system, we can receive 500 emails per day, which I think for the beginning, it's more than enough, right? So even though that we didn't write a single line of code, only with the help of ChatGPT, we were able to create the contact page and the system, and set up the system to send email, right? So that was all about this lesson. You learn the structure, you learn how it worked, okay? And you can just keep going and create whatever you want to create, okay? All with just what we have learned and practiced till now. So that was all about this lesson. Again, you can get the source code from the resources of this lesson, okay? And also, if you have any question, you can write it down for me. If not, I will see you on the next lesson. All right, till now we have created parts of our website: the homepage, the portfolio page, the product page, the contact page, okay? And the functionality is working fine, right? So you can keep going with this, creating the rest of the pages for this website. And after that, you can talk to ChatGPT and ask how you can make this website public and put it on a host. Okay, so for example, I can come here and write down, I mentioned that, okay, it is working fine right now. I'm referring to the email system. And then I mentioned, now I want to upload my website on a host. Can you show me the directions and what I have to do next? All right, so it is writing the steps. The first step is to choose a web hosting provider. Okay, it made some suggestions like Bluehost, okay, HostGator, and some other. And after that, we can register a domain, right? Again, it mentioned some websites like GoDaddy and Namecheap. Okay, I usually use Namecheap, right? And then prepare your files. Make sure that all of your files are ready and working as expected. This includes all the HTML, CSS, and JavaScript codes and all the images. And then you have to copy and paste the whole files that you have. Where we are in images. Okay, you have to copy all of these files and paste them on the host that you have, right? Put them there, and then test and see how it is working. And along the way, wherever you have some issues, you can ask ChatGPT to tell you, right? Now, I'm not gonna show you the way, because based on the website, the hosting provider that you select, the way can be a little bit different. But for example, you can come here. Let's go to Namecheap, as I use it more. So let's come down. Here is their website. Okay. And let's click on it. You can create an account here. Okay. You can buy a domain, especially if you want to practice. Okay. There are some cheap domains. For example, my new website test. Okay. You can write something here. It doesn't matter. There are some addresses like .xyz. Okay. Some of them are very cheap. For example, this one is $2 per year, right? Okay, you can look, for example, this one, .online, is less than $1 per year. Okay, you can purchase these addresses, okay, the one that you want. And if you want it just for practice, okay, if you want to have a domain for a general website, for your own website, you can select a better domain, okay? And then on hosting, you can come here. There are many different type of hosting. Okay, there are shared hostings, WordPress hosting, email hosting, and so on. Okay, you can select the one which is better for your situation. Okay, better for your demand and the traffic for your website. Okay, some of them, for example, these which are dedicated are more expensive and they are much more faster. Okay, some of them will be slower. For example, this one, shared hosting, it is very cheap. You see $2 per month. Okay, so you can explain your situation. For example, you can come here and write down, I mentioned that I'm going to use Namecheap for my host, but I don't know which type of hosting I must select for an HTML website. Okay, and the rest of the information will be provided by ChatGPT. For example, it is telling you that you can use shared hosting. Okay, it's this one, shared hosting, and virtual private server, VPS, can also be useful for our case. Dedicated server hosting can also be helpful. Okay, and so these are the options, and you can keep asking questions from ChatGPT to direct you so you can make your website live based on the hosting provider that you select. But as I said, just for practicing, Namecheap is very good. It's very cheap. With $2 here and $1 for domain, with $3 you can start practicing. Okay, so that was all for this part. I wanted you to get familiar with the next steps if you want to create if you want to make your website live, right? So that was all about this lesson. Keep practicing. On the next part, I want to show you something interesting. So let's go for the next part. All right, now that you have learned how to create a website, how to upload it, and how to create different parts of this website, how we can make money with it, right? We can come here to ChatGPT if you have access to ChatGPT 4, especially the web browsing part, okay? You can come here, select this one, and write down, I wrote down that I'm looking for freelancing jobs to create simple HTML, CSS, JavaScript websites. Can you suggest some websites or maybe even some freelancing jobs to me? And let's wait for ChatGPT to respond. So it is telling us where we can look for these jobs, these freelancing jobs like Upwork.com, freelancer.com, Fiverr, okay? And let's wait for the response to get complete. Okay, after the response was completed, I wrote down, I want you to go on Upwork and find some easy web development jobs using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript that I can do. Then share the link and some information about it here. Okay, so you can press enter. Let's wait for the response. Okay, since it has access to web browsing, it can find the jobs, but it tried for some reason, it failed. Okay, but it asked us that, would you like me to proceed with this approach? It can look, it suggested another way to look at the jobs, and I'm gonna say yes. until the response is getting ready, we can ourselves go on Upwork. Okay, Upwork. And here we can create an account and look for works. Okay, let's say I'm looking for projects or jobs. Okay, web development. All right, these are the projects. Let's look for jobs. Okay, web development. All right, so here are the jobs for web development. Okay, we can go through them. Okay, even there are jobs for using ChatGPT as an assistant. Okay, and you can look at the costs and the prices. Okay, for example, this one is hourly. Okay, they are willing to pay $10 to up to $23, and they require us to work 30 hours per week. Okay, Wix website designer and so on. It's on Spanish. And you can keep searching here and find some works that matches your talent. For example, this job here, I need a full stack developer with experience to install Python models on AWS. Okay, it's a little bit advanced. Okay, but with the help of ChatGPT, it is possible. If you have some coding experience, it would be really good. Okay, budget is not much, but anyway, you can find a lot of jobs to complete here using the knowledge that you have learned till now with the help of ChatGPT. Okay, so here after ChatGPT searched for us, it found 2 jobs for us, and it provided some explanation here. At the end of it, you see there is a link. If I click on it, it will open the link. So I'm just going to click on number 1 and number 2. And here is the job. Okay, it's remote. And this is the second job for HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, but this one is expired. But anyway, you can use the help of ChatGPT to find jobs. These are some similar jobs that was posted on Upwork. Okay, so I just wanted you to learn and know that it is possible to use ChatGPT if you have the version to look online, the web browsing version, to find jobs for you. Okay, you can keep doing this. You can tell ChatGPT to look for more jobs for me. Look on freelancer.com and other websites as well. Right, so that was all about this lesson. If you're ready, let's go for the next part.